After watching TVC News at 1, let's turn our attention to business now. The House of Representatives has advised the federal government to address the rising cost of living in the country to tackle the hardship being faced by Nigerians. This followed the adoption of a motion by Representative Isiaka Ibrahim at plenary in Abuja, moving the motion titled Urgent Intervention on Reducing Cost of Living. He said the rising cost of living in the country was unbearable. The rep member said the impact was deadly on individuals and families, adding that there was an urgent need for government intervention to bring down the cost of living. Adopting the motion, the House appealed to the federal government to distribute food from the National Food Reserve to Nigerians to cure the effect of the current food inflation. But in the meantime, the federal government says it will prioritize the domestication and penetration of liquefied petroleum gas and implement measures to significantly reduce the price of cooking gas. The Minister of State for Gas, Petroleum Resources said this at a stakeholders consultative meeting in Abuja. He believes this will ensure the product becomes more accessible, available, and affordable for Nigerians. Helen Osamide-Akin's report.
Nigeria is one of the leading gas-rich countries in the world, but the country is yet to unlock to the full potential of this economic wealth to the advantage of its citizens. The Ministry of Petroleum Resources convened its industry stakeholders forum to deliberate on policies that will improve efficiency and productivity in the natural gas sector. The minister assures stakeholders of government's commitment to developing an adaptable roadmap that reflects the collective idea of the people here.
We are dedicated to creating conducive business environment as well as ensuring the completion of major gas midstream infrastructure projects, such as the AKK gas pipeline project, the OB3 gas pipeline project, and the Asa North, Alhaji South, and
Please, a round of applause for him.
Stakeholders at this forum also look forward to an outcome that will be in the interest of growth and development.
When you peg the price of gas at a certain level and does not reflect the amount of investment that has gone into it, it becomes a disincentive for further investment.
If we produce gas and sell it, let's get a bid for it. At the last count, we owed something like $1.3 billion US dollars. For gas that has been produced and sold in the past. It doesn't create the environment for you to want to continue to depend.
Let government use independent petroleum marketers to participate fully, because at present we already have the land. Just as I have said, nationwide over. If at all this program is to be going throughout the country, definitely independent petroleum marketers must be involved.
This forum is expected to identify problems and provide solutions to moving the sector forward. It is expected that discussions and deliberation over the course of these engagements will not only lead to developing a comprehensive roadmap, but should also strengthen the bonds between public and private sectors in meeting the needs of Nigerians. Helen Osamide-Akin, TVC News, Abuja.
Despite Nigeria's economic challenges, the potential for growth and investment in the country is significant, given the country's position as the largest market in Africa with a population of over 200 million. This perhaps is why experts have continued to emphasize the need for urgent choices to be made to reduce Nigeria's vulnerability to crisis and unlock its potential for growth. Business development expert and the CEO of Cash Flynn Resources, Mr. Victory Anyi, in our flagship Business Nigeria program, said there is an urgent need to tackle inflation by engaging in production for and exportation of goods and services.
The President Tinubu agenda of a $1 trillion GDP in 10 years is achievable because we have all the factors in our favor. What we just need to do now is to create the structures, okay, so we can boost productivity. And this is what the policy framework is talking about. We can start, first of all, with the 43 items. We cannot get to a $1 trillion economy when we have a 75% informal economy. It's downright impossible. It's not possible. So we need to see how do we involve ourselves in high productive activity, which is by increasing productivity. And the first thing first, we need to increase supply, because at the current rate of the dollar, what the dollar is right now, whatever gain we are trying to to achieve, inflation will just erode it. So we need to tackle it at the core. So we strengthen the naira to the dollar so we can reduce our inflation. Because inflation we have in Nigeria right now is not a demand push inflation, it's more like a cost push inflation, which is totally around the cost of the dollar right now. So we need to see how do we strengthen the economy so we can de-accelerate inflationary pressure. And the best way to do that is increase productivity.
The Nigerian Council of Registered Insurance Brokers is expressing its commitment to adding value to the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy. The Insurance Brokers President, Mr. Babatunde Oguntade, gave the assurance when he led the delegation of the Council on a visit to the Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Mr. Boyega Oyetola. Mr. Oguntade said the Council will contribute to the Ministry through required advisory services in insurance and risk management were engaged. In his remarks, the Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Mr. Boyega Oyetola, appreciated the brokers for the visit while assuring the Council of greater support and promotion of the roles of brokers amongst his contemporaries in government. And outside Nigeria, Asian stocks firmed up today as investors wait to see if Beijing's increasingly frantic efforts to prop up its sagging share market will actually work, while bonds enjoy a reprieve from recent selling. In recent days, China's regulators have announced further curbs on short selling, and state investors said they were expanding their stock buying plan. China Blue Chips Index inched up by 0.4% in choppy early trade, while Shanghai stocks added about 0.9%. MSCI's Broadex Index of Asia Pacific shares outside Japan gained 0.4% to a 5-week top, helped by 0.8% rise in South Korea. Japan's Nikkei dipped by 0.1% as tech stocks dragged, though Toyota Motor jumped on strong earnings. Eurostoxx 50 futures and FTSE futures both added 0.1%. S&P 500 futures and Nasdaq futures were near flat. And in the meantime, the World Bank says inflation in food prices remains high globally. The World Financial Body declared in its latest food security update report that available data on food prices showed high inflation in low, middle, and high-income countries. It declared that the inflation level was greater than 5% in 63.2% of low-income countries, which was 1.3 percentage points higher than in the last food update on January 17, 2023. Inflation level was greater than 5% in 73.9% of lower middle-income countries and 48% of upper middle-income countries, which recorded no percentage change from the last update. The report shows that in reference, food price inflation exceeded overall inflation in 71% of the 165 countries where data was available. The World Bank's Global Economics Prospect 2024 report emphasized the critical problem of food insecurity within the context of various challenges. According to China's Association of Automobile Manufacturers, new energy vehicle sales fell by 38.8% versus the previous month, the first such drop since August 2021 or 2023, as demand faltered in the world's largest auto market despite a discounting push led by Tesla. Vehicle sales, including those exported, total 2.44 million units, up by 47.9% from a year earlier, down 22.7% from December. The industry data says new energy vehicle sales, accounting for 29.9% of total sales, grew by 78.8% on the year in January. Last January, passenger vehicle sales in China plunged 37.9% on the year and slumped by 40.4% a month-on-month, the worst performances for January since 2000. And finally, oil prices rose earlier for a third day after industry data showing U.S. crude inventories grew less than expected and a cut in the forecast for output growth in the U.S. The world's biggest producer eased concerns about potential oversupply. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude rose to sell at $73.70 per barrel with an upsurge of 0.53%. Brent crude futures also experienced an upward price reveal of 0.47% to sell at $70.99 or 96 rather cents per barrel. And Bonny Light recorded an upward price margin of 2.09%, selling at $80.17 per barrel. And for the OPEC basket, crude dealers are offering $77.47 per barrel, with a downward price review of 0 or 1.45%, respectively.